So in a previous video, we mentioned that some of the extra graduation requirements here at New Tech are 10 hours of school service and 20 hours of community service. So the way that you would log those and make sure that you get credit for the work that you're doing is by going to X2Vol.com. And the school will give you your MBUSD email. You can use that to register, and then you make your own password. And once you have that set up, you can just sign in, and it'll take you to your dashboard page. So on the left-hand side, it'll show you your group and goals progress, which is basically, as I said, your school service and your community service. And it'll show you what you've submitted but hasn't been approved, what you've gotten approved, and how far along you are to reaching your goal. You can also scroll down and it'll show you, it'll give you an idea of the amount of hours you've submitted, how many you're still waiting on approval for, and then the top categories that your work falls under, upcoming events, and notifications. So whenever things get approved, you'll get a notification, and that should be emailed to you as well, so you can stay on top of your hours. If you scroll back up, you can see common tasks like finding opportunities to get school and community service hours, your history, account settings, but most importantly is the add hours. So if you click on that, it'll take you to your activity log. It'll show you any active projects that you've created, and I'll show you how to make that in a little bit. So, for example, I have an active project of being a volunteer at the Queen of the Valley Hospital, and that's because that's something that I do regularly. So instead of having to create a new event for it every single time I log it, I can just go into my active projects. If you scroll down, it'll show any events that you've logged, the hours that you've claimed, whether or not they've been verified by your contact person, if it's been approved by the school, and it'll allow you to edit the entry or remove it. And if you press on the blue box, it'll also give you a little bit of information that you entered in with the event. So if you want to add an opportunity, you can either create a new personal project, or you can simply add hours to something that you've already created. So if you press on Create New, it will take you to this. You can put in the activity name, so what you did. Did you volunteer in the front office, or did you help out at the local hospital, anything like that? You give a description about what it is that you did. And you also have the choice to make this a recurring project. Then you get to decide what interests it falls under, so humanitarianism, educational, environmental, and then any career clusters that you feel it falls under. Beneath that, you add your activity contact. So this needs to be an adult that was supervising while you were doing this. So if it's a school event, it can be a teacher or your principal. If it was a community event, it would most likely be the volunteer coordinator, and that's just to make sure that the school can verify that you actually did complete those hours. You would put in their name, phone number if you have it, and their email address. Then you would put in which dates you did this on and how many hours and minutes it took, and any reflections you had about it, like how you felt it went or whether or not you would be interested in doing it again. The most important part is underneath, so you do need to decide what you want these hours to count for. So there's school service or community service. If you don't choose a goal, the hours, even if they're verified, they won't work towards your graduation requirement. Afterwards, there's this little disclaimer just making sure that you know what would happen if you were logging in false hours. Underneath, you can see any comments that your verifier, your contact verifier or the school may put regarding your event, and then you can submit it, and that's how you get credit for your community and school service hours.